Please welcome Chef Katsuji Tanabe. How'd I do?
Very. That's okay.
Okay.
Well, so we're making these enchiladas that in reality it's a Mexican dish, but I think it's more of an American tradition now because we're using vegetables that are local, you know, especially in this case, it's a root vegetable. So one of my restaurants, it's in Chicago, so winter, it's very harsh. So we use rutabaga, celery root, sweet potato, parsnips.
How about that?
Yeah.
And I am in the kitchen with you to help you. Obviously, Debbie, Paige, and LZ are looking forward to this too. It looks fantastic.
The most important thing, it's the chili. This is like the Mexican umami, but you want to remove this part and then take out the seeds.
Okay,
not because they're bad, but because they're just...
Because they're spicy? Because they get a little too spicy?
No, they're not too spicy, but I will not recommend do this and then go to the bathroom right away. I will wash my hands.
You wash your hands because they get a little spicy. All right, that's good to know. Or rub your eyes.
Yeah, don't rub your eyes.
So to this, once they're clean, we're going to add it to a pot.
Okay, there you go.
We're going to add some fish sauce, which is my Japanese background. Just to add that umami and super like intense flavor. A little bit of fish oil,
very good.
And then we add vegetable broth.
All right.
It's not a vegetarian dish, it's not a vegan, but still we want to embrace the vegetables. You know, vegetables are cool now. This is going to cook for 15 minutes, and then this goes into the blender.
Okay.
So we have the chili,
Man, we're moving fast. I got to keep up with you.
Wow.
Okay, so we got that. How long was that on the stove? Sorry,
15, 20 minutes at the most.
15, 20 minutes. Okay, and then you want to put it in the blender.
Put it in the blender.
We'll start slow. You're going to turn that up for me.
So are there any vegetables that would not work well with this?
I would probably not use the ones that are spoiled in the back of your fridge. Those are the only ones I would use. But the most important thing about this, the most important thing about this recipe, it's the secret. The best part about this secret is when, oh, that's not that loud. I thought it was going to be like super loud. I was like, no, you can't hear it. So anyways, we blend it. This blend product goes into a pot.
Okay.
And then we add a little bit of cream just to make it more rich.
So really, you could use any vegetable you wanted?
Yeah, even frozen ones. You know, I like okra. Right. I like frozen okra. It's pretty good with eggs.
That's a bad idea.
Now, hold on. You slow down. So you take it out of the blender, we put it on the stove, and you let it simmer, reduce a little bit.
Reduce a little bit, and then you add some cream for richness.
Okay, add some cream for richness. So there, and now we've got our salsa.
Yeah, because it's a fancy
You're a very fancy guy.
Right, so
and yet, that was quite doable. Like, that wasn't that difficult. It was
so now
simple.
we go with the Japanese-Mexican sushi style of the enchiladas.
But before we start loading these up, I want to ask, how do you get the right crispness to these tortillas?
Well, I mean, we're not looking for crispiness. The word in Spanish, it's called sancochar. Sancochar. There's not really translation in English, but it means like you fry your tortilla for like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you take it out. So it's not really crispy.
No.
It's not really like, you know, it's more like...
Malleable.
Sancochar.
Yeah.
Sancochar. There's really only one word for it, and that's
sancochar.
That's the one. Thank you.
And then this is the cool part. So the Japanese part, we take the sushi.
We're rolling these up. Remind everybody what's in here. I know you mentioned it quickly earlier, but this is a really unique. We got some sweet potatoes. Rutabaga.
Celery root, super aromatic, red onions, and sweet potato. So, you know, like...
Yummy.
How did you prepare the vegetables?
We just roasted it, put it in a sheet pan.
That's it.
A little bit of oil, some fish sauce, because I'm in love with fish sauce. I think it brings a lot of umami. Little brown sugar, and that's it. And these are super easy to make. You make them in advance. And then once you create these, then we go... Something very important about enchiladas, you always want to put more sauce than you think it needs. So in this case, we're going to add all of it.
Why more? Wow.
Because it's like a lasagna. Once you bake it, it's going to absorb all that sauce. And you know, you bake it. Something great about this, you make it like an hour before your friends come over, and then you just pull it out. You know, it's not like a fancy dish. It's not something you have to make in advance.
Do you put cheese on top of enchiladas too? Usually,
I put a little bit of cheese, but mainly for saltiness. This is not supposed to be like a super gooey.
Oh no!
You don't want to put like a lot of cheese. I go with a little bit of like cotija.
I'm laughing because he was doing that for TV. There's a little bit of a TV swap out there. It wasn't really that hot. His hands are okay, everybody. Nobody was injured in this cooking segment.
I have really short hands, so they don't have feelings anymore. And then the cool thing about it is like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, it's always like loaded with like cheesy gooiness. Yeah. I want to make them more like a light version, something that it looks beautiful and it still gives you that crunchiness.
Can I just tell you something? Yes. As I was eating these, I was thinking of the places that I usually go to, and there's such a thick denseness to it. Not this one. This is really light.
Well, the secret is do not go through the drive-thru. Once you step away from the drive-thru, then we're actually acquiring like new flavors.
I was trying to elevate myself from a drive-thru to with the places I
and then there's know what Mexican restaurant he's talking about.
And there's two ways to do the sour cream. This is a little, I like to do the dots. I think it looks more like fine dining. But if you're at home and you want to go crazy, just go like. Sure. There.
What are we at on here? We got a little.
We have a little bit of frisée, which is like a bitter greens. Fennel, which is the aromatic.
Yeah.
Then the avocado for richness.
Okay. And then you got a little bit of cheese.
Cotija cheese.
One more time.
Cotija.
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 Cotija cheese.
Cotija is a state in Mexico, which is it's like a champagne. Can only be produced in this region.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's an unpasteurized milk cheese.
If you can't find this, what else can you use instead? It seems a little local.
You could use even Parmesan cheese because it's only for saltiness. This cheese doesn't really melt.
Okay.
Just to bring that like richness without being like.
Guess what time it is, chef?
It's time to eat.
It's time to eat. That's right.
But this is something that people don't understand, that Mexican cooking, it's not all about pork. It's not all about like fried food, things like that, you know?
Look at that.
Vegetables are pretty cool.
We're sharing. Vegetables are pretty cool. Like you say, vegetables are cool now, everybody.
And the cool thing is, like, you know, the misinterpretation that Mexican should be heavy, should be like make you feel like this is a dish that I actually don't miss the meat. You know, I'm clearly a chubby guy because I eat a lot. But with these dishes, I was like, it's okay.
This is
delicious.
The root veggies in here are so good. I can't believe. I mean, I'm surprised at how incredible.
This is right up your alley.
It makes it perfect.
But it's super simple. That's the cool thing. You know, chilies, garlic, vegetables, and any vegetable works. You know, even some fruits like mango will be pretty cool, or you know, prunes. You know, that sweetness.
Well, now you're pushing it. Thank you for being here. You guys can find this recipe on HallmarkChannel.com.